right, so today we'll be talking about the book. It's called The Untold Story of the Drama That Unfolded in the Skies Over America on 9/11, Touching History by Lynn Spencer. All right, so my first question for you all is, how many of you ever thought about what happened in the skies on 9/11?
Actually, that I thought this was a very good perspective because I was thinking that I was out reading like it. I was like, it was a lot of stories happening. It literally never occurred to me because, and let me say one thing that I do when my students, whenever we read a book, I ask them, could this book have happened now? You know, we do a lot of that, and it's like this book could not have happened now. I mean, as far as because you have more internet access in the skies now. They were just. They had no idea. Right. Even the pilots, like they did not. How could they? How could they? That's what I mean. So it's very interesting that this is, the time as a character as well as anything else because it could not happen now. But when I thought about it, it's like, why hadn't I thought? Because it was so interesting and just imagining being there, like, what the heck is going on and having no idea. And then people saying like this is happening when they was able. The people that did have phone access, because we know some people did, especially in first class, and it's like. That's not true. That can't be true. Like, because you can't even conceive of such a thing.
Right. It's just so surreal.
That was a very that perspective. I like that. It definitely taught me something that I had not thought about.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about it. We was all. We all know what happened on the ground at this point. It's been 20-some years later. But I'm just saying, even within 20-something years, like, whoever still thinks about what happened in the skies with the pilots, the aircraft, all of that. Like, it's just not something that people think about. No. Even today. That's what I'm saying. Even today, you don't think about it. Yeah, because they've done documentaries, movies, anything you can think of. Right. So many people have written books on 9/11, but nobody has written about it from their perspective up there. So that's
it is that. What is that one book about the flight that rescued? Was it 93? Flight 93? Okay. They did, but it still wasn't this perspective and all these stories like the controllers. You know what I mean? Like that, you know what I mean? That job always seemed stressful to me. It's a movie called Pushing 10 about this. I sweat looking at it. It's like it's fascinating when you think about them. Like when planes come close together, how they do all the coordinates. Oh yeah, it's called Pushing 10. Very interesting movie, but they did do it, but I feel like this still is a fresh perspective. Even though they did it was a movie just about how they what is it? They stopped one of the planes from hitting the what was it? Not the Capitol. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was in the book too.
Oh,
they right? Yes. They stopped. They stopped the brave. People like So.
Yeah. And, we all know that Lynn Spencer, she was also a pilot. So she was able to get in and talk to everybody, the military, whoever, So that's why it was just different hearing the book from her and her side, And like I say, a lot of people wrote forwards in the books, a lot of pilots. They even said some things about how they felt on that day, So it's just really good to get everybody's opinion and what was going through everybody's mind at that time. And like I say, it says she's I think sat with them she wrote this book for 3 years. It took her 3 years, I think, to write this book. So I mean, just to gather all the research and talking to people, interviews, and putting everything into perspective, it's amazing.
Multiple airlines, multiple people. I mean, like, it wasn't like
that's a lot.
One place to go. Like, cities you had to go to.
Yes.
It was a lot of.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Even in the book, it was like, okay, now we over here, now we over
here. That's why you have to think about it. It's like, okay, now how is this? They got to land in Honolulu. Okay, so which is this? Like, it's like, this is more retiring.
Right. Okay, this the MIDEX. Okay, now this FAA. Okay. I said, okay, I'm not going to figure out, try to keep track of that. No. But just get to the bottom.
I was about to say, we know the point is just everybody.
It's not a test.
Right. You're not going to be tested like, which is the pilot that was retired? Which was the last day? No, it's okay.
I think having being in the service at the time, and I had just got into the Army.
In 2000.
I was like fresh, brand new in the military. when this happened.
Oh.
And it completely changed the trajectory
Yes.
of my career and my life.
Mhm.
We were immediately I was a police officer in the Army, so I was an MP in the Army, and I was on active at the time. We were immediately, everyone was called in because I was off that day. Everybody was called in and had to report to your bases, no matter where you were. Every state, every base, every branch, and I was on a base that had Army, had Marines. There were, a couple Air Force people.
So where were you at?
At the time, I was in Fort Polk, Louisiana. I had just got to Fort Polk, Louisiana, and it was immediately that we knew something was going on. I was out and about that day, and I remember hearing stuff on the phone, but when I'm off, just like even now, when I'm off work, I'm off. I'm out. I'm outside. And I was young at the time, and we were called. But I was like, okay, why is my little phone thing ringing like this? And it was like it was my squad leader and my platoon sergeant. And then I'm like, all right, let me maybe somebody called off or something like that, and they need an extra shift. They were like, it was all hands on deck, and we had to man every entrance to our to the base, and then you hear what happened, and then we're getting the rundown of what happened. Now it completely changed how I thought about. And I did my job when it came to people coming in on base, but if I recognized them and they came in pretty often, I didn't always check their ID. I've seen you. I've seen you a few times before. Go ahead. How are you? How did it? But then it became we were given full gear for weeks. Full gear every day. We were 24. It was 16-hour shifts, and it was just back to back. Full gear. You are, and we really shut down. Unless you were you had reasons to be on this base, nobody was coming
in or out.
Nobody was coming in or out. You had to have the most ridiculous. I need to get a call from the commander of the base to be like, yes, you can let them in.
Wow.
No press, no family members, no nothing. It was, if you lived here, you could be here, and then you could, when you left, you'd be like, hey, ain't no guarantee you're gonna get back on.
Tight security.
It was it's tight. It was tight, and and we're going through cars and people and their things meticulously that we didn't have to do before. We're underneath the cars with mirrors on our hands and knees, touching things.
Yeah.
We are,
because you don't know. Right.
Because you don't know what
you don't know what's going to happen
who
next.
else was supposed
So
to.
you had to have all
You
guards up
didn't
at
know
all
what was going to happen, and then it was immediate. We're like, all right, now they're sending buses to New York. They're sending our people. They're sending us every which way because they've already gotten every National Guard, every base they can in New York. And then now they're surrounding everyone in Massachusetts, everyone all surrounding. We need more. People were coming from Texas up to in busloads, not just police officers, not just firefighters, but the National Guards from everywhere, Army from everywhere, Marines from everywhere. It was all hands on deck.
Right, because it's
And then
war.
and just a few short months later, then a few short months later, we're being cross, because I was MP, but we had to get cross-trained as correctional officers because they were impending what we were going to be seeing when we went overseas.
Yeah, because I had a friend, I remember the day that it happened. I was just laying down on the TV, and she showed the plane, going to the building or whatever. And I'm just laying there looking at it, because now I think I'm watching a movie. It didn't really click in, like I said, because it's so surreal, right? So I'm just thinking I'm watching a movie. Then it showed, who was the president at the time? Bush, right? He was in a classroom talking to some kids at the time, and then I think one of the Secret Service agents came and whispered in his ear, and then look, and he got up. But I'm still like, ooh. And then I'm driving ahead on the radio, and then when I get to work and everybody's talking about it, then it started kicking in. I'm
like, this
is
really happening.
Really like, and then I had a friend, some friends went to Jamaica, but they couldn't get out because they shut everything
Yeah,
out there.
all the airports.
So she was stuck over there for about 4 days.
Yep.
And then they had to check out the hotel and everything, had to figure out how to get home. So they was able to take, when they started letting, open up some of the airports, they was able to take the plane from Jamaica, I forgot to what state they caught the plane to, but then they had to catch a train. And then that's when she broke down. She's usually pretty strong. She was like if you had saw all these kids, these young boys and their families that's being deported, she said, and they're crying, she said, I lost it. I lost it.
I watched a
I was like,
documentary where they talked about that, where people of like Palestinian descent or Indian descent, they started changing their name. They started changing the way that they dress. They started. A lot of them cut their hair.
Yeah, they were something like the enemy. Like immediately.
Yes,
They were being
You're under attack.
They were being attacked, beaten. Robbed their stores being vandalized for months afterwards. I'm not sure what it was outside. And they had to, and so it was there's multiple intersections where so many people were affected. Where they did this. There was one. She was like, her father not only cut his hair, he changed his name because his first name was Osama, and he had been in this country for over 50 years. And had to cut his hair, which he had never done, and changed his name. A lot of them started, that's when a lot of them took off their hijabs and stuff like that because of 9/11.
Yeah.
I tell you the time, I don't remember what happened yesterday. Don't ask me.
Everybody
remembers
experience
where
for
they
everybody.
were,
Yep.
what they were doing, even down to like how they felt on 9/11. There are certain moments in time where, even like Columbine, I remember what I was doing with Columbine. Every school shooting, I remember that. Those are those key moments. But 9/11 is present in everyone's mind, and they know. You talk about your friend who couldn't get through. There was what's her name? What was that singer's name? Jessica Simpson. Her and Nick Lachey got married because of he was I think in New York, going to New York or something like that for when 9/11 happened, and that's what pushed them to get married.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a strange. I didn't finish the entire book, but it was a strange thing about the book. Because, to your point, everyone remembers. Like I've not read a book where everybody
Close the door.
remembers. Everyone knew the book. Like,
Yeah.
You knew how it ended. You knew what happened.
Even
But
if you
you
didn't read the book, you know.
Even if it didn't, it's a shared
Yeah.
culture experience. It's just like that's the thing. So my dad was in Philadelphia when it happened too, and I was like, when I kept trying to reach him, like getting a phone call or something, because we didn't know. We didn't know. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was a weather copter. When they said a plane hit the
I thought it was like
hit the tower, I thought it was a weather copter. I was like, why would it be flying so low? You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's inconceivable to think we were attacked under terror. Like even in the book talk about that. It's inconceivable.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like that's not something that happens now.
Like the air traffic controllers, it was like, what this? Like there's got to be a drill.
Yeah,
Like this
right.
can't be going on.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
show the drill.
And
Okay,
deny-
I'm gonna go
exactly.
through
And
it.
deny
Let's
so
just
you
this
couldn't
day.
Yeah.
Because it's inconceivable.
Right.
It's inconceivable. Our mind made up any reason why those planes hit.
Mhm.
Like I said, I literally thought it was a weather copter.
And I thought so much. I know it was a twin, like a twin engine, like a small plane. Like, oh, a small plane. And like you just, because you cannot conceive.
You can't.
It's just
Ever.
something you wouldn't think that would ever happen in a million years. Like somebody actually would take it, like actually do that deliberately, on purpose.
Several.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
I wanted to say, start off with what they stated in the book was September 11, 2001 was our nation's second Pearl Harbor. That's how they, pretty much look at it. And then it was a training exercise that day. So that's why they were confused.
Yeah,
on,
right.
Is this real world or this is training
It's like
exercise?
a fire drone. A fire drone.
what-
That's right. Like, this is
Right.
a fire. Right.
Yeah.
It's probably not fire.
Yeah, and that's what the confusion also came, because they was like really getting ready for this training exercise on hijacking. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, wait a minute, we have a hijack. Is it real? Is it real? What's
Right,
going on
right,
here?
right.
Like,
And people
I mean,
tell you
it was
it's
just
real, but you're like, it
miscommunication.
can't be.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yes, it was so much miscommunication that day. People were still asking after the fact, like, this can't be real.
And then a lot of
Yeah.
they didn't have a lot of things in place too, because once again, like even when I can't think they were like they were trying to verify the plane, and it was like they knew different codes. It's like, and they couldn't trust that plane wasn't being hijacked. So they had to, find different channels to make sure that these planes. That's what I mean. But it's like when things don't happen, things aren't in place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like with the
right.
things when that's what I'm saying. Like you things is like when you don't. Yeah, it's like when and I tell my students that whenever it's a rule, I said please believe that rule has been broken somewhere down the line. That's why a lot of things seem silly. But it's like it's because something had to be in place to mediate that.
Something happened.
Something happened. And it happens. And it's the same with 9/11. It's like if you didn't know, it's like, why am I taking my shoes off?
Yeah.
Right.
Because remember the time we didn't have to take our shoes off.
Yes.
We didn't have to do all because it's less strict now. Because before when you flew out to 9/11, baby.
Family at the gate.
Yes. Yeah.
You had to get to the airport like 3 hours, 4 hours before your flight because it was going to take you. It's going to take you.
I know.
Oh,
for domestic. And like you said, you can't take about your loved ones. You got to aid. We definitely did.
Right.
You can't walk into the gate.
You just walk into the gate.
Sit with them at the gate.
Sit with them at the gate and everything.
I was out of town when it happened, so when I came back, that's when it was surreal because you saw all the military people in the airport. I remember landing and thinking like, there was nobody at the gate. My husband wasn't at the gate to like, hey, welcome home. Like it was just eerily quiet over there, and everyone was like, thank God we landed. Like it was just, and you saw like it was very much the dichotomy of like before you left and after you left.
Yeah,
before you left, you would come with me to the gate, give me a hug goodbye,
hold up a sign,
right at the gate. Although like no one's allowed.
Definitely to America.
You used to park my car right there at the pickup line. Leave the hazards on, run it said that my person now. They be like, hey, keep moving.
Exactly.
I gotta circle around 12 times. Somebody come
That's
through.
crazy. How many movies based on you following your loved one to the gate? I love you. Now it's like, where you going? They gone. But they gone. Y'all gotta break up. Like you go and talk to them when they get there. Cause it's like you can't chase nobody to the gate. No. Something like
how is he supposed to declare his undying love for me?
You gotta do it before it.
He can't have to buy a plane ticket.
He can't get chicken. He can't like I couldn't do it. Then I'm like, no, it's right now. That's what I mean. I'm telling you, yes. It's crazy how much that changed. And at the time, I didn't even realize how much the world was going to change either. It's like, it did.
And never go back.
Right.
Never go back.
And then if you think about it, like every so often something drastic happens, right? When you think about like the COVID situation, and how it has, and the world's constantly changing, and it's not for the better always.
No.
Like, it's just something drastic always happens that as long as we're here, we're going to remember. It's going to stick with you.
But
And people change.
I also thought about how worse it could have been. Like, thank God.
Yes.
Like, right? Like,
They had other places.
we had no idea, like,
Yeah.
like we've heard about it, like, but thank God there were people who knew what they were doing to make sure that
They didn't attack anything.
And right people risk their life, and so that more American people die. They risk their lives.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the thing about the hijacking, I want to go back to that. They stated that they have it in their book or procedure on how to do it, but it's only like 3 or 4 pages.
Right.
So,
Because it never happened.
Yeah, because they like, okay, it's a small portion in our procedure book, but we don't. I mean, we read it, but they weren't prepared. Whatever was in the book, it wasn't prepared for what happened on September
And I
11th.
mentioned how like it used to happen.
Yeah.
But like it hadn't happened so long.
And
Yeah,
then when it used to
exactly.
happen too, these people wanted people to die.
Right.
Yeah.
When they used to hijack, they had
That was the
demands.
intention.
Right.
Give me money.
Right,
It was like a
negotiate.
ransom.
Right. They could negotiate.
Right.
These people, they didn't want to
No.
negotiate. They
No.
literally for Allah. They were dying for Allah.
They
Yes.
had missions. They were supposed to take out the Twin Towers, and they were supposed to take out the Pentagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Was it
Flight
Flight
93?
93?
Flight 93 was
Yeah.
like, hey, we not going.
I know they was in there talking like, hey, we got to do
Even
something.
listening,
y'all.
even listening to some of their phone calls, where there's been like over the years documentaries where like the family members have released the last phone calls that they got from their family members, especially from Flight 93, where they're just describing like, hey, this is what's happening. I know I'm going to die. This plane is gonna
Yeah, they started
Go-
calling their loved
they-
ones like,
Yeah,
Mom, I love
hey,
you.
this is
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
We're about to do what we can to take over this. We're not gonna. They knew they weren't gonna survive. And like I can't imagine one either having to make that phone call or hearing that phone call.
Yeah.
And then being able to keep those recordings, because remember this was over 20-something years ago, so we don't have the phones like we do now, so they were probably calling more landlines then, and then leaving the hearing the recordings, and so let's keep it, being able to keep the tapes over the years, transferring and changing it because it gets distorted depending because of how long it was. You don't have the same tools like. Knowing that was the last phone call I received for somebody, and they took 93 down and didn't let it hit the Pentagon because they were headed somewhere else, and that they made the pilots divert to go towards the Pentagon.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they said that the last hijackings in the U.S. was in 1987 and 1993. But no one was injured, and then the people, of course, surrendered. The hijackers, they surrendered.
When it used to happen.
Right, it used to.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So ever since then, they just.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
had no
we
plan
good.
for this.
No,
No
like-
plan for this. So people that like
Yeah.
was essentially kamikaze pilots. It was
Did the
literally.
Simpsons have an
yeah.
episode about
Simpson.
Probably.
I
Lord knows
mean,
they predict
hey,
everything
look,
else.
I went back.
I know, I'm like, I need to go back and watch
back. I said I went back and started watching The Simpsons, and I kid you not, they have predicted quite a bit
Yeah.
of stuff,
That's what I've heard.
Really?
and I'm like,
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
They-
I
they-
just-
that Illuminati sounding real.
Yeah,
I
I need
about
to-
it. When
I
I
need
tell
to
you,
be.
and now my daughter is too. They be
Yeah,
watching
no,
together,
they-
but he obsessed with
Yeah,
it.
they have predicted. I mean, down to like down to the clothing, and you're like,
Look, you get my.
That's the thing. So
Stop
I just
watching
seen the
that.
episode
What
with
you watching?
Lisa
That's
became
what I said.
president.
My
and she
husband
looks
obsessed. I need to
like
be
she's Kamala,
Yeah,
like she's
Lisa
Kamala
became
Harris. Yeah.
president. That, like I'm saying,
Yeah, like she's Kamala, like Kamala, and they're saying
And the,
similar
and the
things.
year's not
The
that.
year
I
is
wouldn't
not
say
that
it's
off.
like
It's not that off. It's not that off. I mean, down to the pantsuits, down to the way her hair look, Lisa's hair looks, and everything. You're like,
Really?
That's the thing too. One of the
they
outfits,
predicted Donald Trump being
they
president.
did, which is like, how do you predict that?
They predicted
Right.
Donald Trump
Alright,
being
put that on my
president.
phone.
Yeah, let me
Down
go
to the
down.
entire escalator ride.
They screaming it.
Down to the escalator ride that he was on, and the people around him on the escalator. And mind you, this episode was 15,
Yeah, Simpsons was
15
what?
years
Years
ago.
ago.
It's like 15 years ago, 15,
It's
20 years ago that this episode premiered. They predicted him being president down to the suit he was wearing.
It is.
If they don't, I'm like, let me go back and watch them because let me get some
I
lottery
mean, who
numbers.
would ever think Bart Simpson?
Right.
Let
You
me
know what
get
I
me
mean?
some lottery
Yeah,
numbers.
that's the
hell?
thing. And it's literally the episode where they break into the building,
Yeah.
into the White House, and they got the same outfit
Yeah.
on. It's the same
The,
outfit. Like one of the guys that
the
broke in,
January 6th insurgent,
Yeah.
they predicted that.
it's the outfit that they got
Yup.
on. And it's like, I'm like, this same outfit.
That same,
Yeah,
he's
it's
about
like
to
a
get
skunk
with
hat.
the skunk hat
Skunk
dude.
hat.
Yeah, with the feathers or something like that.
So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out, are they predicting this, or are them people
Are they
watching
telling
The
us?
Simpsons
No,
and
are
saying,
they
"I'm gonna
telling
do what
us?
they fucking do"?
Well,
You know what I'm
that could
saying?
be for some, but the Donald Trump thing, like you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know what, the Simpsons said I'm gonna be president, so let me go ahead and apply for it. Let me be a president. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's the thing. So they put,
I hope that's
you know,
not
it's
what
some kind of manifestation.
Right.
But it's like, well, he knew the world was gonna let him do it though. Like, he could have said,
COVID, I believe
back to
they
America,
predicted
let it happen.
They predicted COVID.
Right there.
They predicted the
They
COVID
won't be-
pandemic.
Right,
It was
COVID,
something
they call it
different.
something
It was something different, but it was the
Oh,
COVID
that was
pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had a different name for
I'm
it.
telling you, go back and watch the Simpsons
I am.
beginning. They
Trust them, but
I
that's
keep
it.
trying to watch to see if I can hear some dates for some lottery numbers. 'cause-
You know what I mean?
So you
That's
can
the
go on
thing too.
the
And it's like, but it's always on my TV because that's my husband. Like background show,
Mhm.
he's obsessed with Simpsons. He
Mhm.
loves it so much. You're
I know.
always-
Well, someone in my PhD program is writing about the dichotomy of the Simpsons and its predictions on
Yeah, and it's
real
it's crazy.
world events. Yeah.
That's
What
it.
do you do your PhD in?
Higher education and leadership.
Oh, okay.
I also want to point out in the book that Ben Sweeney, I don't know if y'all remember who he was, but he, this was his first day on the job.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
That blew me.
And that's, it
I
was his
like-
first job. It was a new job. He was working there, but then he get like a new position. Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Who working where?
He was the national operations manager
Oh.
at the FAA command.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
So on 9/11, that was his first
Day,
day.
yeah.
And that.
Ooh, was it his
Because he
last?
wasn't even doing aviation.
Right.
He wasn't even doing aviation.
Could you
No more. He was
imagine?
doing something else. And his friend Jack Hyes, he was the manager of tactical operations, asked him to come on back. You know, gave him a good job offer. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna come on back or whatever.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
And it's
I
like
heard
his
that.
first day. This is what September of like 11. Like seriously.
Now, do they, in the book, in the finished book, do they talk about how those people are doing? Like the controller
After the fact.
After the
Well,
fact?
no.
Because then, yeah.
Synonymous.
He just tells us like basically that how they
Check
changed
it out
and
front
they've
door.
done some things to put in place now
That's
since
it.
then.
'Cause I want them
And the epilogue was about that.
Oh,
No,
that's not-
because
Yeah,
they
should
have
they
an
lock that
epilogue,
front
but
door
the
back when
epilogue
they're
is about how
done?
things have changed for her.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying like they do have an epilogue, but it's about how things have changed and how we do things,
Mhm.
and you know,
Right.
because of
They go on
9/11,
a
the plane.
plane, can't, and it is
All
sad
those
to see,
things.
like,
You can't bring liquids from outside, but you can buy liquids
when you're
at the
inside.
airport.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what I mean. And then
All
also
the
too,
pilots are
and different
protected.
airports are different too. That's another thing that be getting on my nerves. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because they be barking at us like, I said inside. It's like, well, the other one they here told me.
They told me
outside. I just was, you know what I mean? Like when I tell you, they be barking at you and yelling like, why you know these rules are different, right? I said shoes, like my daughter, they let her keep her shoes on. Shoes off. I was like, what the hell? They let her keep her shoes on.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's so.
You used to be able to just
Just
you used to be able to wear like sandals,
Yeah.
like if you had on sandals because they could see your feet. But now some places make you even take the
That's what I mean.
sandals
It's the
off. And I'm like,
inconsistency, and even then, I wouldn't even matter.
So you have
if
to
they
have
bark
socks.
at you.
And
It's
that's
like they
what's
be
wrong.
You feel like
yeah,
you're being convicted.
They
or
do.
something.
It's like it's right.
For
It
sure.
is. Sometimes you need to put your suitcase on the rack. Sometimes they say in
Like,
the
you
bin.
have to holler
It's
at
like
me.
okay.
yeah.
I mean, what
I would go in like sandals or Crocs because I'm like, all right, I don't have to take my I don't have to take my shoes on and off.
Yeah.
But then now they're making you take them off, and I'm like,
But it depends on the
I
airport.
go-
And probably the
But you
first
take my shoes
the
off?
first
No.
Depends on
I-
what you through.
Exactly.
go-
That's
we
what
were
I
out
mean.
and we didn't have to.
I wear some
Yeah.
socks,
Yeah.
right, Crocs. I wear leggings and a t-shirt. I'm not taking off no belts. I'm not taking off no
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
I try to be mindful.
No,
Very
I'm
mindful.
no
Yeah.
belts, no. I got on leggings and a t-shirt. I go very comfortable.
So
And
you
some
don't
Crocs
be
and
beefing
socks.
when you go
Yeah, ain't no beeping.
Don't have no hair
Ain't
wig
no
with a
nothing, no
bun.
hair wig,
I know
nothing.
because they be looking all
Yeah.
They be looking all
They
there.
be-
I either
I
got
need to take
no
them out.
wigs, no wigs. I either do a sew-in or some braids. If I know I'm finna go to the airport, y'all not finna, nope. And I try not to do no carry-on. And if I do, it's a book bag that I know I gotta put in here. We go ahead and take the, even before I get up there, I already took out my phone
Yeah.
and my laptop. He ain't got to say nothing to me.
Yeah.
Don't get
They
it.
sure will.
I mean, in room. I mean, I remember getting into it with one of the ladies at one of the airports. She started yelling at me. I said, "What it is that?" And I said, "Girl,
Don't
who
do that.
you think you
Right,
hollering at?"
don't do that.
I said, "Who you hollering at?" I said, "If you don't
Man.
like your job, you shouldn't be here."
Man, I'm about to be on
And
the
they
no-fly
took her
list.
off.
You talking to me
They
like
And
that.
I was and I was about to say that's the thing too. No fly. And that's the thing.
I'm gonna get up on a no-fly list. Baby, I like to drive. I like to drive. So please lower your tone when talking
The
to
low
me.
fly. That's the thing. So that ain't now. That's definitely not a joke. That literally I ain't even gonna tell this story, but that almost happened to me when I was
What?
pregnant. Yeah, they did. I left. They didn't put me on the no fly list, but I did have to leave the airport at that time. And my uncle, I was using his buddy passes, and he had to have a review about it because he let me use his buddy pass, and I got it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do have to be careful.
That-
Because
that-
sometimes you be like,
Yeah.
"No, not today."
Right,
I'm
you
trying to
never
get to
know.
my
Like I said, my
date.
back was hurt. I was pregnant.
Not
I was
today. I said,
feeling
"Who
good.
you think you
Feeling
talking
good.
to?"
My
I was
brother-
livid.
My
I know
brother,
that's right.
my brother was living in New York City. This happened not too soon after 9/11 happened. So people, like, were very on edge.
Mhm.
And he was flying American Airlines, and there were a group of Hasidic Jews on the plane, and they're very, like he knew it was like he like something's gonna happen because they were flying right around sundown, and you have to pray.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, all I got in unison, and then went to the exit door and started touching the door.
Oh.
And then the flight
They be
attendants were
real
like,
about
"Sir,
that
well, you
sundown
gotta sit down, you gotta sit down." And they wouldn't listen because they're praying, and the captain came over, like, well, around the plane, you don't sit down. I think it was a mess. These like the people like, you're on American Airlines, you're touching the exit door.
That would have made me
Right.
nervous.
I'm surprised they picked that flight
I
time.
would have picked up that damn airphone.
I would have been more.
Oh,
There should have been
I
more
don't know
mindful.
what's
Period.
going
Like
on,
even
but-
after, even outside of 9/11, even outside
They blocked everything.
It was
The cam on
insane.
the phone.
It was
They would not.
For real.
They
Hey,
wouldn't
remember that draw I told you?
Oh, that was
Took
awesome.
everything and go
Right.
Don't
there.
stand up. It's a group of them. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Tell my baby I love her.
Man, me and Pat, he got to enact the project what to destroy immediately. Remember what we talked about? What you to destroy. Remember? What you to destroy immediately.
I don't know, but I'm sure finna start fanning them earphones. I'm sure I'm gonna start using them.
Yeah,
damn
The air tag.
The earphones on the airplane.
Oh.
Whoever they was calling when they was having problems with
back
their
in the
family,
day,
they still got them on the plane.
Well, I was gonna say they got,
I'm
even a lot of people can, like I said, it's easier to use the phone now. I have it.
Because
I have
sometimes you can't
T-Mobile.
use your cell when they be,
I was gonna say, now I have an internet, yes, but I don't use my phone.
Oh yeah, see, I have T-Mobile, and with T-Mobile, you can not only do you get free Wi-Fi when you fly, so I can use my phone. I can watch movies. I can do stuff while I fly. Yeah. But you get free Wi-Fi and internet when you fly with T-Mobile.
Okay.
And you
I
can
know.
text,
used to be with them, but I'm not with them no more.
Oh.
Wait to-
Oh yeah, you can
You can
text.
text.
I was gonna say I can only
But you
text
got to
once
buy
I
that
get once I get
package.
too high. I can't text them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could,
Unless it
Wi-Fi
doesn't
and
come
stuff,
with.
you can.
Unless it
No,
comes
it
with
don't.
your
I have
own package.
AT&T.
Yeah, because some of the times you have to buy that.
Yes, but some you have to buy like the actual airlines air
Airlines,
Wi-Fi and
yeah.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
T-Mobile, you get free Wi-Fi and
So
internet
we
no
got
matter.
T-Mobile, so
what-
every time you was able to text me.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
how he
cool.
could. Yeah, he has T-Mobile. Yeah, that's why. Cause I'll be as soon as he get that right altitude, I think
Yeah.
we up in the air. Cut this movie on my phone.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the only good thing about T-Mobile.
I noticed when I was reading, if y'all don't remember, but Captain, one of the captains, Rick Johnson, he said he was walking past one of the airlines, and he said he was basically saying, hey, waving to
Oh
one
yeah,
of
this
the
was like
guys.
towards the beginning,
Yeah,
and he
and
felt the hairs on back his neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was like, the other guy just toast up his coffee to him. But I'm guessing just by doing that, it just made him feel like something ain't right.
Yeah, he was like, he said, he felt the hairs on the back of his neck.
Yeah, I was like,
So he knew
wow.
something was.
Yeah, he knew something was.
Probably because he never seen him before.
And he said, and he gave the reason, but he was like, it's just like something.
I think
strange.
that
Sometimes you get a
you
result.
just get a feeling.
Intuition.
Yeah.
Intuition.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Because even Dunlap and another guy, Warner, they even had an episode of The Simpsons they laughed about it. He was like,
Right.
tell them I love them.
Right,
Or something
when
like
it's
that.
like, yeah.
If anything happened today,
Yes, they sure
Yeah,
did.
I was like, wow, it's just it's sometimes
To change the
interesting.
TV?
It's sometimes interesting when you have
What's on the TV?
People can foresee things or
Oh, yeah.
just talking about something and then boom, this is what happens. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just,
Absolutely.
And because my intuitions are usually strong, and I'm usually like right when I feel certain. So you guys seen, I'm sure most of y'all seen the movie Harriet, right?
I did. I just watched it not too long ago.
No, you seen it?
I didn't.
No.
It's really
real.
good.
Yeah, it's real good.
I got to be in the mood for those kind of things.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I really do.
It took me a while. I just watched it.
I get it.
Honestly.
I mean, I
For
just
real.
watched
I
it.
have
It's
to
been
get
out for
my
what?
spirit have to get ready
Couple
for
years.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
What y'all say is good?
Oh, yeah, it is.
The
Okay.
remote is
Yes.
up there. I'll go.
But
pick it up.
like she was, you know how when she would get like a certain feeling about when she's trying to lead the people out, and then she said,
The
no,
remote should
don't
be
go
up there.
that
She
way
got it, Shannon.
because
She
there's
can't
something
find it.
going on. And then it got so bad to where she was passing out and stuff like that. I don't pass out, but a lot of times I'm like, you're an empath. Yes, I can really,
Yeah, that's the thing too. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to intuition, I feel like women are equipped with intuition. And I feel
Yes.
like we ignore it a lot of times. But the older I get, the more that I try to pay attention to it, and I don't brush it off. I don't like it's nothing, But I do feel like that we were blessed with intuition. So I think a lot of times we
just
just
by nature.
yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times we brush it off, but as the older I get, the more I try to pay attention because the times that I didn't pay attention, I regret it.
Right.
So it's like I don't do that.
Let's follow your gut.
Mhm,
And some
absolutely.
people are a little bit
It's strong.
stronger than others.
Yes.
But everybody has it. But women like in us, we know even like in relationships sometimes. You know.
Oh,
But
that's
you
that's
just-
main.
Yeah, you be like,
that's main.
like your spidey
Right,
senses
right.
be tingling. You be like,
Right. And that's
you
the
just
thing
try to
too.
like
Because when
ignore
stuff don't
it.
add up,
you be
'cause
trying to ignore it. You be like,
Because it ain't
some know my spirit, and
Yeah.
I know it's right,
Something ain't
and
right.
I know
I know.
something ain't right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get to the real part. Betty Thank the Lord for Betty Young.
Yeah, yeah. It's not on here. You never heard about it.
Baby.
You never heard about it.
No.
Somebody need to get her a
Right.
plaque,
Her and-
put a
right,
name, a
right,
stream,
right,
something,
right,
because
right.
that lady,
Right.
she was the one that actually called and told them that the cabin is the airplane is being hijacked. She called from her airphone in the cabin at 8:19 and transferred to some lady named Nadia Gonzalez, and she identified herself, and she tells them that 2 flight attendants have been wounded.
Yeah.
One passenger cannot breathe, and something has been sprayed.
I don't know how she
So
did
that's
that.
how I
I was
know.
just trying to think of the chaos on the plane. And how you have a presence of mind to just hone in and go into like emergency mode.
I know.
And like, here are the facts that you need to
Yes.
know. I don't know how you
Make that phone call,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, without being
Everybody
so
definitely
frazzled.
Yes, and she stayed
And it's just like,
calm.
and it's
Yeah.
surreal.
The whole
Like,
And I
conversation.
think
Yeah.
they commented on that, like how calm she was.
Yes.
It was
Right.
because it's like you already know, like it's time to freak out, but
Exactly. I'm not going to. I'm not
Right.
going to.
realize how important
And
how
she
important
probably
it
wanted to get
was.
the information out, like, hey,
Right.
somebody
Information
do
out.
something. We
Yeah.
are under attack right
And keep
here.
on saying this is real.
Yes.
Do not hang up. This is not
Yes.
a joke.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you was talking about how like the time, and that was another thing, like how it's like the time it would be going so slow or so much better. It's like 8:31, only 8:31.
Right.
It's like and it happened at 8:20. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's so much happened in like it was all
I felt
mainly
my
done by
heart-
10:30.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like my
yeah.
heart going like it was
About 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It was and that was crazy to me.
Yeah. But my thing is another thing about the World Trade Center. You know, they bombed it before. It's
Yeah.
like,
Since
what
we
is
did
up
something
with
like
the
that too, but it
World
had been,
Trade
yeah, it
Center?
had been bombed in like the 90s. The
Yeah.
90s, yeah.
Mhm.
It had been bombed before.
Yep.
Well, cause it's one of those big landmarks in New York.
Oh,
right?
okay.
It's like
And
it's like
a financial hub.
yeah, it's a financial, and it's like targeting the Sears Tower for Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's
Like,
the
or
thing.
like the Space Needle in
That's the
Seattle.
symbol
That's
of-
the symbol
of-
of
Exactly.
that's
New York.
true.
And that's the thing too, because when those things aren't here, is it still because New York? I'm not in New York. Well, obviously we're not, but New York, I know they feel like New York is in New York without the Twin Towers.
Right.
You looking at the skyline and don't see they really, that's going to be forever embedded in the people that remember that. Like you look at the skyline and they don't exist.
Right.
Could you imagine? Like with our skyline,
Sears
things that
Tower, the
Yeah, when we
Precisely.
go on, and then it's
Precisely.
like, right.
So that's why they targeted that. But also too, like a lot of when it comes to stocks and things like that, stocks are just they're not real for real. Like I mean, and it's like so they're dependent on people's attitude, and so like when things like that are destroyed, a lot of stocks go down. That's why the stock market. I don't remember if it crashed during at like how it wasn't like the stock market crashed in the 40s, but maybe something happened. I'm not gonna speak on it because I don't know. But my point is, it was affected. The stock market was affected by it being destroyed, and that's why. But that's why our economy was like, man,
just
it went down.
plunged.
It plunged. The economy went. I mean, yeah, it plunged after 9/11, and that was symbolic of that, of destroying that financial hub.
Yeah. I saw on Google, they said the World Trade Center experienced several major crimes and terrorist incidents, including a fire in February 13, 1975, a bombing February 26, 1993, and a bank robbery on January 14. And so somebody said, I think when they bombed it before, they had to rebuild it. So I guess this time they felt like, oh, okay, so y'all want to rebuild it, this time we gonna take it so it ain't gonna be no more. You know what I mean?
because
Right.
why? I mean, they'll still try to come after it.
Right,
Something else
exactly.
Still,
Yeah.
go down.
They wanted it to be gone. Like
Yeah.
that was their ambition.
that's
Like
Yeah,
they wanted
to make
it
sure like
out.
y'all not gonna be resilient.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
yeah, that's the thing too. So a lot of it there, that the attack on terror was mental and spiritual very much.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they did get into American psyche, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we have, like
Yeah.
literally.
That's what they
They
said.
tapped
It
in,
is.
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like I felt not safe for a long time after it. And I'm not even saying like you said. I mean, again, we did a lot of like stereotyping like they do with African Americans.
But
When you saw somebody, we
did.
stereotyped
I
the whole lot. We
I
did
think that bias is
racial
really-
profiling. Oh yeah, the racial profiling was
So
major.
it went up.
Especially when you're flying.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially. I felt that when I saw
Still
somebody
to this
that
day
looked like
we
they could
sad.
be. I know some. I had a feeling about it. Like I felt very unsafe.
Oh, yeah.
So they definitely affected us. I mean, like I said, in a way I didn't even predict. It was in the fiber of our whole culture.
And especially for black and brown people, because we are already have to watch ourselves when we're in a room full of white people. Now I feel like I gotta watch myself around everybody because I don't know what's going
You don't know
on.
who to trust.
I
Nobody
don't
can
know who to trust.
Nobody can
Right,
trust.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All across the board. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
Look, girl, you're gonna have to get put down,
Um,
okay?
Another thing I wanted to talk about was how I guess the communication as far as the radios. Y'all noticed it was like working.
I was
People
shocked.
couldn't really
I
talk
was
to
really
each other,
shocked.
and you would think like
I was really
y'all
shocked.
normally talk to each other all the time. This is how
Right.
y'all communicate in the air.
But they had
But
shut
this
everything
day-
down, right? They had shut down
This was before it even got shut down.
Okay.
People were having radio problems. It
Yeah.
was just a lot of things happening that day. You know.
Well, and they probably, people had gotten comfortable.
That was
because
very
nothing,
strange.
Nothing had ever happened, so like, you probably weren't as in tune and making sure everything was working. What could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I
It
didn't
is
shoot on that because I thought it was a result of it being shut down. But you said it happened before that. Now I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had.
I thought they had shut down the airway.
I didn't realize they had communication problems before that. So I can't even.
On that day?
On that day.
Yeah. You know.
I thought once
before.
everything started happening,
Then
it shut
they
down.
decided.
The
I
reason
was gonna say,
okay,
maybe
let me
you
go
can
back.
find it. I was
Let
gonna
me
say
go
maybe you can
back.
find it. 'Cause
So on page, let me go back to the first chapter.
That's what I thought. I thought that.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like so.
Okay, so even like the first chapter, American 11, Do You Hear Me? That's chapter 1. They were saying the controller was telling him like to turn right, do this. They received no response. They even cut it off, and then there was a frequency check.
Because the hijackers.
Right.
The hijackers was doing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then
Right,
I
that's
thought
what I
later on
figured.
there were
Yeah,
still.
it wasn't like.
It wasn't it was a hijacker.
Right. They were
Right.
purposely not ignoring it, and then
Yeah.
plus they did, and then the
But-
thing is,
And they had been trained. The hijackers had been trained
Yeah.
to fly.
Right,
So
because
they
they
had known. They had known what to shut. Yeah.
Right, they had went to school for flying.
Right.
They had
Because
sent them to
I
school.
mean, you just think this was a well thought out plan,
Very.
Yeah.
and
It
it
took
took years for them
Yes.
to figure it out and how they were going to accomplish that.
Mhm.
It was a very well thought out plan.
And
Over
only
the
reason we knew
years.
some stuff was because some of the radios were kept on by mistake.
I was gonna say accident, and they also didn't know that they could hear because when they heard
Right.
like everybody sit down, it was like, and then it was said it was like, okay, they don't realize that when they speak, we can hear it too.
Right.
That was what that's what I don't remember
And
what
thank
I don't
God.
remember I don't know which
Which airline-
comptroller said that, but
yeah.
I definitely remember that, and that's how they was able to even hear. And it was like, what's going on there? And then it was like, they were even in denial, and finally it was like, okay, this is definitely
Serious.
a hijacking.
Yeah.
Like it was.
the denials like the first.
It was in
We're
there
trying
so
to protect
strong,
we're trying to
and it was
protect
finally
you.
like
It
at this
happened.
point,
I
it's
can't-
no denying that this is a
Right.
hijacking. When it was just like nobody get hurt, everybody have a seat, all this other stuff, and it's like that's the thing too.
And how many planes? They didn't realize how many planes were being hijacked.
Right.
Like okay, but this is the one plane. They can't find the other one.
I know,
And then when they put it all together, it's kind of like.
right? And they didn't have how many. But I wanted to ask too, and I really don't know the answer. I might look it up, but like air marshals, when did they start putting air marshals on planes? Because
I feel like we're regular. Everything is like.
That's what I mean. It's like, 'cause I can't believe that.
I feel like.
me too. I feel like air marshals was on plane. Our air marshal wasn't on any of them unless they, yeah.
Well, it had to be after.
No, that's what I mean. See,
I don't
that's
think
something
you
that they would have been already
Should
said
been,
earlier.
yeah.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to fly after 9/11 was in California? But like,
That's a good question.
yeah.
I don't even think. I don't know if I went anywhere. Like at least within that
First
year.
year. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it says the program. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no,
I'm so
I was
sorry.
just saying I don't think I went anywhere within that year because I know that it was still limited. Who all
Right.
could go in and out.
Mhm.
It wasn't, like how you just going for leisure. It was like, it was limited.
stolen. It was
Right.
completely stolen. What did you find?
Oh, it said the program. It's like it started in the late 1960s, but it expanded after September 11th, 2000.
Right.
Sure.
That's it. I can't remember. So September 11th. I'm trying to. The next time I flew, my cousin got married in Jamaica, and I think it was like 2 years later
Okay.
after September 11th, if I'm not mistaken. That was the next time I flew. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was soon after that. It was soon after that. I want to say it was like maybe 24. So yeah, I think it was like maybe 2 September
this year, did you all, like when 9/11 hit this year, I don't think they talked about it. Did they talk about it as much? Or like, you know,
I thought
do
not.
a,
I thought
because
it-
somebody
It's getting
else brought
watered
it
down
to-
through the years.
Yeah.
It's getting watered down through the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And at my school, it's our principal birthday. And he's talking about his birthday, and I was like, so nothing about 9/11.
Somebody else brought it to my attention.
Oh,
at
wow.
Right, it was like
school.
literally, so it was his
Yeah.
They
birthday.
haven't said anything
I
about
feel like it's gotten-
9/11. They haven't.
And they have some that said, but it's like any other historical thing that happens.
Exactly, it's not, you know, it's not as
MLK.
notable.
I mean, it's notable, but it's not
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
yeah.
hey, it's September 11th. But no, I'm telling you, when I tell you, that's the first thing I thought when they were talking about my principal's birthday. It's like, but it's not.
It's 9/11, right?
But you know, I guess sometimes after so many years, that was
True.
you know, a while ago. It's like, you know, you kind of don't want to keep
Time.
reliving,
Right.
you know. But I think still maybe just
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you playing. It's major. I mean, it's like it's people. It's people that, and that's the thing.
still affected by it till this day.
Exactly.
It's
Now
been
I
happening
bet
yesterday.
they can't separate from it.
No.
But it'll be like Pearl Harbor. We don't think about Pearl Harbor.
Right.
We don't think about Pearl Harbor, so it's gonna
Yeah.
become like that. Like
Yes.
it was something, you know, detrimental and destructive that happened out here straight, but it's just kind of, you know, it'll be just like 9/11. It won't be like it used to be where we would have memorials and you know
Right.
there
Or
would
a moment
be
of silence.
all of that. We
goes
used to do
on.
that over the we
Yeah.
would do that over the loudspeaker. We
Yeah.
didn't. We didn't do that this year.
Right. Nothing.
And I was gonna say, yeah, no, it was definitely the least miraculous it's been this year, and I feel like that's a downward trend.
It also because this generation of students don't know anything about it.
No,
Well, yeah.
They only know what we tell them.
They only
Yeah,
know
that's
what
true.
we tell them. It doesn't have the same impact
Oh,
on
that's
them
true.
as it does. Say like my oldest, you know,
Right.
my oldest is in her 20s. It has an impact on her,
Yeah.
and so they did it for a very long time up through high school. But for like my 11-year-olds,
She
it
wouldn't
doesn't.
know.
They
Yeah.
and I think about like my 5-year-olds. It's not gonna have. They're not. It's just
No.
gonna be one of
That's
those
true.
It'll be
blips
history.
in
It's because it's 23
Pearl
years.
Harbor.
It's
Pearl
23
Harbor.
years.
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
blips in history. So my oldest is 20. Is gonna be 22. So it has an impact because it was still
Right.
she's going through school. All of those things were coming to light, and then new things.
Right.
And her mom, who was in the service, was constantly gone
Yeah.
and missing things because. And so that's that impact because my mother was in the military. I missed out on a lot of stuff, and so it has an impact. The generation of kids now, it doesn't have that
COVID. That's true.
same.
It'll be their COVID.
Yeah,
COVID,
that would
COVID
be their
will be their
911.
yeah,
Right.
that'll be their 9/11 COVID, and then also
Major.
like the increase in some school shootings.
Yeah.
That will be their thing. Like
Yeah.
Columbine
Yeah.
was big
Them
for
not
like
feeling
for
safe.
like that,
Yeah.
for like Sandy
Hook.
Hook,
That's
Sandy
the
Hook,
worst
but
one.
like the new ones now, especially because now they're
Evolving.
it's one not only evolving, but they're starting to hold some of these parents accountable.
You got arrested. The
Because
last got arrested.
The last two have gotten the last two
Yes.
parents
And they should
have gotten arrested, and they should have because there was documented evidence where the school was like something is wrong.
Right.
Your kid needs help outside of what we can provide them in school. Look at these drawings. Look at these essays. Look at these things.
The FBI was going to talk to
The
his parents.
FBI,
And they ignored it.
the
They said
principal,
it's fine.
the social worker, the psychologist at the school, like, hey, something's going on. We can only do so much on our end. We need you to take your son somewhere else to get extended therapy, and you bought him a gun.
And named him cold. But that's another conversation.
But that's another conversation. But that's their impact for the student generations, and I think that's why they're not doing those same moments in silence. Because even on Facebook, I noticed that there aren't as many
Yeah.
posts
No.
about it.
Yeah.
About like just the impact. People have
Right.
moved
They
on.
have. Like,
which is
don't wanna really
which is
relive it.
okay. It's
Right.
been 23
Yeah,
years, but
yeah.
for some people,
Yeah.
like it's gonna always be permanent
Yes.
in my mind.
As if it happened yesterday.
As if it happened yesterday because of its impact not only on my career,
and the
but my
family
kids
members,
and
yeah.
family. But like other
That's
than that,
probably
mhm.
true if you think about it. Like you figure when MLK was assassinated, and 20 years later, it would have been in the 80s. Like who was, right? I mean, we were talking, but the assassination wasn't, well, for all kinds of reasons. But still, I feel like my mom, who was alive, probably looked at us like,
Like it didn't seem to care.
Right,
You don't
yeah.
care about something that
Yeah.
impacted them heavily.
exactly. So I think that maybe that is that.
It is, and that makes sense to be honest, because you can't.
Right,
And just no one can compile all the trauma we've been having. It's like I wouldn't expect anybody
After-
like all the things that would happen, like to constantly
That's
be
a good-
carrying that around.
Yeah.
Like the
Look at
younger
COVID.
generation.
People are
Yes.
bullied.
I was about to say the younger generation is. I think it's good that they're able to not internalize that because it would be too much.
Because
It
they
would be
already
too much.
can't internalize a lot of stuff that's going on now,
Okay.
so. And some people carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. And that's like those are the people that are like suicidal or have committed.
Yeah,
suicide.
empaths.
And stuff. Yeah, because they don't know how to deal with it. Because it's a lot to digest.
It is like.
And it
Fast
affects
and
people
Furious now, too.
differently.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I can't even watch the news a lot because when I do that,
So.
I'll just be I'm like, did somebody really do that?
Yeah.
So it started affecting me mentally. So I was like, nope. If I hear something, it's through people conversations, or on the radio, or through But yeah,
I was thinking about it when I was upstairs about the strangled children. There's been a lady, an older white lady, who has been arrested multiple times over the years for being able to sneak on the planes.
I saw that 4 times.
And it's been like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And I got to, when I was upstairs, I was like,
How does that
The-
still happen?
how does it keep happening? Because given what I gotta go through, given what we all gotta go through to even walk into the airport, she has managed to sneak under
Crazy.
in the
That's
plane,
crazy.
in the cargo hold of the plane
Yeah.
4 different times.
So how was she doing that?
How was she doing
Right,
that?
right.
And then like you start to go down the thing. One,
White lady.
she's white.
Right.
She's a white woman, an older white woman. Like, and you're like, so everyone, no one paid attention because she's invisible. She was invisible, but until you got. So I started thinking, like, what if they start to, if there is, like, God forbid, they want to plan something else. They are paying attention to the fact that old white women are invisible. And that's who, like, they've targeted some of these white girls online who left the United States to go to Iran
Yeah.
to join ISIS and stuff like that. They're targeting these white girls.
It's
These
scary.
so if they're over there and they keep them, they send them back. They're invisible, right? No one's gonna pay attention to them, and they can do stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
sneak into the cargo hold of a plane.
And that combined with technology.
Yeah.
That combined with new technology.
They're paying attention to what we're
They're
not
paying attention where we're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Like 4 different times over the span of years.
How's it happen?
And that's how 9/11 happened in the first place. How we were careless and we just let stuff go. And I mean, even now, like I said, it's definitely things that I didn't even know would be in my pocket. Like, oh, that's how.
Well, they said something about that's why they found 4 of the men. They came through the cargo when they left. I think the last plane, United 23. That's how they.
Oh, that's how they got on.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's how they got on through that little cargo. Climb up there and.
yeah.
Because they said they couldn't find them. They told everybody to evacuate the plane. Everybody supposed to been off, right?
Right.
Whoever the baggage people down there saw some people running on the plane, like at least 4 guys.
Okay.
But they couldn't find them when they, went to the terminal, and they was like, where did they go? It's like they disappeared. And so they must have went out through the cargo, and I mean, it's the guy actually showed you how it was so easy to get
To
on
do
it.
it.
I mean, but people like us would do it because it's like.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to
too
jail,
scared.
you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if
Immediately.
you want to take that
Right.
chance, he
I
was
ain't gonna
saying,
say nothing.
right, but he was saying
I'm
like
scared
it was,
to kinda talk
he
back
was
to
saying
you.
it was
Talk
very
crazy,
easy
but I'm
to
gonna
do.
do it.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
glad you made it.
Should I have left this up there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just put it back there. But yeah, so I was like, that's probably how they got in because, they have like a little secret passage where normally the flight attendants are supposed to just be in there and people that work there, but,
But they all uniformed up. I mean, they gotta fit in.
they have to. Yeah.
So.
But that's one
Nobody
thing
got
about
any
people from other nationalities, like that's not from the United States. They always are thinking about things to do, and we don't really, go that far. Like in Russia and all these
We
other
go
stuff.
that far, but in a different direction. We got some that's smart that can be using, like these young boys, what they be doing out here, and be like, take
Yeah.
that knowledge and do
But that's the
Yeah,
but the thing, and we do say that, but I mean, but like in other countries,
They're
like
praying
you got like Russian
Yeah.
secret
Yes.
cells. You got secret cells. They will come here and infiltrate
Yeah.
America, and they will do it when they got the long game.
Yes.
Years.
They've been studying this for years.
Yeah.
We
They
ain't
will-
studying
they
nothing. We
down
just
and
walking
they
around
figure it all
like, hey,
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they could do it.
they praying and
They just
studying.
haven't. They could.
But they don't.
They praying and studying.
That's what I
And
mean.
we are not the
But
smartest
Marty said-
country in the world. When you think
By
of like
far.
when you think of like Korea or Japan, they are so far ahead of us.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was
In like Korea or Japan, they are so far
Well, you know what?
ahead
Actually,
of
you know what?
us.
Just right here. I'm gonna just move over this way. That made so you ain't gotta carry that. That ain't no shit.
Technology
She's
wise,
not
everything, they're so
So when
ahead
she
of
come right here to be.
No, it's fine. I'm
They're
just saying,
so
she
ahead of
don't-
us. Like we are so behind on so many things as far as like, especially technology. If you think like Korea, Japan, they are light years.
Why you think they come out with stuff and say to us and we
They
back?
have to
They
be
can go to
so much.
They can go to the stores, walk to grocery stores to buy themselves at like my 5-year-old's age.
I seen one make a stir fry.
Yeah.
Please.
They
Yeah.
make stuff and sell it to us and we buy it.
Yep. They make it.
Little kids be doing. That's what I mean. Like
They're
that.
not even sending us their good stuff. They're
No.
just sending stuff that
In
they
the worst,
used
in the worst way.
years
Give
ago.
it some. And we think we got some.
Yep.
There's a lot of freedom over here.
That.
That's why people
Right.
come over here.
It's a little more.
Because we
I
couldn't
get
do
the
half
freedom.
that shit over there. We ain't gonna even get past the damn gate. We can't damn near sell nothing. Don't come over there selling no damn weed.
Yeah, it is.
We don't even want it.
But it's
Take
freedom,
that
but it's
shit,
abuse.
bag
It's
that
abuse
shit back.
freedom.
Say that.
It's abuse freedom. Abuse
Look,
freedom. That's the
Diana,
problem.
pack that shit up, bag it up, and take that shit back to
Yeah,
where you
and you're
got
right.
it.
And it
Right,
is.
they're shaving their
It's
heads.
the simplest. It's the simplest of freedom.
We can't sell nothing over there. Not a damn snowball, nothing. You know we can't. Not even a snowball, 50 cents. We can't sell nothing. 'Cause they ain't gonna even buy it.
Can't get ice.
But they come over here and, baby,
Government give
Rack
them some
the fuck
money.
up.
Government give them some money. They give them
Yeah.
a grant.
yeah.
Open a store
They
right
richer
here.
than us.
Yeah.
We've been here.
And we got tons of applications.
They got. I was gonna say they got neighborhoods. They come and have neighborhoods.
Yes.
Right.
We've been in
And,
there.
yeah, we get to, and Hyde Park do not count.
Baby.
And do not
First of
count.
all, we ain't even going to look at no place downtown.
Oh no.
So who's staying downtown? Somebody.
No, not us.
Oh, okay.
They not like us.
No.
You know they wrote a song about it.
I know,
Right.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to hear
Wanna
it?
hear it?
Oh man.
Yes, baby, yes. But yeah, like I said, it was really a lot of things in the book that was just really eye openers for us, you know.
It was great.
And I hopefully they got everything in plan now, because they made somebody said.
Yeah, you would think, but then sometimes they outsmart us. You know,
Yeah, that's the thing.
they
Yeah.
come around a different way.
Uh-huh,
You
and
thinking
that's
you got
it.
this block,
And you're
and
trying to,
here they come some other way.
and it's a whole entire, I mean, out of the planes are in the flight every day at any one time. So you imagine all that air traffic, and then you talk about the inconsistencies of different
Airports.
different airports. So like there
Yeah.
is a lot
They
of
probably
breakdown.
And like Tanisha said, they are studying. They're looking at those holes.
Right.
They're noticing we're not noticing. And the problem with America, and I don't mean like in every facet, but the fact is we're very reactive. Like this happened, so let's put this in place. We need to be proactive. Like before
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
this is how they can't get in.
Yes.
But they know we're not like that. We're not forward
No.
thinking.
Wired.
We're not forward thinking. So
No.
that's why they can. If they study long enough, they can infiltrate.
Yeah.
They can infiltrate. I mean, I can, and I'm not half as smart. I know if I study enough.
You
I told
come
you,
up
I told you,
from-
I'll be getting on with stuff in my pocket. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and let me tell you something, and it's so funny, but before they even, like, you could bring edibles on, I put mine in a pear box. Like, I put them inside a pear box, some edibles. They didn't take them away. And Lord knows, like I said, I'm no genius over here. Now, if I can get that on there, somebody get a weapon on.
Right, and no, because you get through one airport and then say, for instance, you got a little nail file or something. And you get through, and then you get to another airport, they tear your whole suitcase up. You can't carry this. How did I get past
Inconsistency.
in Florida, but now I'm here and, you know.
Which
That's
is
it.
surprising to me that since it's federal, why they don't mandate every airport to be the same, because it's a federal.
They need to,
Right.
but they definitely. But also too,
It's
they
supposed to
might.
be.
They might, but it's the people that have to enact it.
It's supposed
So
to
they
be.
could not be doing it.
Right.
But like you said, when I went to Dubai and Bali, I had this
Oh,
purse
wow.
that got knuckles on them. they stopped me every time. And I was just every time, like they was like, "What's this?" It's like it's my purse.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, that's They stop me every time. So that's what I mean when I say they do things differently than we do.
Yeah.
But I also think because they're smaller, it's easier to maintain like a smaller country like Japan. All those countries are no bigger than Texas. So if Texas was the only thing that we had to occupy and figure out, I think we could. But because we're such a vast country, it's much more challenging to.
Dubai kind of big though.
Yeah.
And I don't know how.
Dubai is big, but not when you compare
to
the United States of America.
Yeah.
I was like compared to USA.
Yeah. Did anybody watch any movies that we have suggested?
I didn't know movies were
I had to
suggested.
be.
Okay,
You had to sign in and say you was over 21.
Oh, a groupie.
9/11.
I was about to say for groupie, sometimes I get arrested, sometimes I
Yeah,
don't.
9/11.
I don't know.
Fahrenheit was one of them. Fahrenheit 9/11 was
Fahrenheit 451. That was a suggestion.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the movie is Fahrenheit 451, but it's nothing like that. It's before, it was in the 80s. Maybe it's something else. But I would have liked to see that list, not even just to put them on. Like I may watch them, but no, I didn't know. I didn't see it. Like I said, again, for some reason it grouped me, and I deleted some of my apps.
Yeah, it's called Fahrenheit 9/11.
Okay, Fahrenheit. Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Fahrenheit 9/11. Loose Change was another one.
See, that's it.
I
That's
think
what
I got one of
This is the
them.
last text I got from the group.
Oh, really?
Oh.
That's the last text.
That's the first one. She sit down.
Maybe that's it. I tried.
Sometimes you gotta like.
But yeah, but Tanisha sent me my messages, and that's the reason I know things. But yeah, you can see it's not on.
Yeah, you got to reload it.
Okay,
I'll
I'll try that.
But yeah, it was Fahrenheit 9/11, Loose Change, Terror Storm. That was another one. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the one Fahrenheit 9/11. They stated that Bush had cut the funding for terrorism from the FBI. They stated he cut funding, and then they also stated in the book that they cut funding too for terrorists. Also, they stated that security breaching on August 6, 2001 stated that Osama bin Laden was planning to attack America by hijacking airplanes. So clearly, there was a warning August 6th, and it happened September 11th. So clearly, somebody dropped the bomb.
I heard
You
about
see what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, I
So,
heard about that. They got a
But I
warning.
think to that point, we don't know how many warnings come over on a daily basis.
That's true.
And you don't know which to
one-
take,
right,
what
right.
takes president over,
Right,
like
right.
which one is really
And I think
real.
in that sense, and how many have not come to fruition?
Yeah.
This is the one
Right, like
that
this is the part that
tragically
the
that did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. But this is the
Now
thing,
you
though. At the
can't-
same time, working at the school, if we get a threat for a student,
You gotta take it
They
serious.
own
you
it.
gotta follow it up.
Exactly.
That's
You know what I mean? And most of the time they don't come to fruition.
They
Most of the time
don't.
they don't.
But
But it's
that
like
one time?
the one time is enough. You know what I mean? So like I said, like I said, of course when we talk about the government, we don't know all the nuances
Yeah.
and in and outs. Like I said, it could be thousands, but we really literally don't know.
I think that was the thing in the book. I was like, I wonder how much really happens that we just don't know about.
That we have no, and they know because
Which I'm okay.
It's
I
better.
would never go anywhere out of my house if I really do.
No, it's better.
Right? How much happens when
It's better that they don't
Yeah.
tell us because people in general we panic. So it's like because I can't say who said the quote. They said a person is smart, people are stupid. You know what I mean? Like so us in the group is dangerous to tell us like that's how this aliens they gonna tell us. We gonna just be crazy.
Yeah.
We gonna just be crazy. So yeah, just keep that a secret. The aliens, I'm okay with that.
Everybody gonna be paranoid.
You know what I mean? Like the person you meet somebody new is like, give me a sample of your blood. They know the things that they can release to the public. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Did anybody have anything else they want to talk about with the book?
It was. I was pleased. I was pleased with the book.
Oh yeah. On page 109, they talked about how there was the nation was under attack, but there was no plan in place. We talked about that, about no guidance, So hopefully, like I stated, towards the end, they did say that they have some things put in place, but I still don't know if it's where we need to be. You know, because like I said, this time they came from the skies.
Train.
You know, how can you
Yeah.
prepare for that? So okay,
Yeah.
now they know
Everybody
y'all.
gonna go back the same
That's
way
what I'm
twice.
saying.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I mean about we need to be more
Now
proactive
what
instead of
they gonna
reactive.
come? Now how they gonna come?
Right.
We don't even know.
We don't.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
we're
Right,
we
with
not-
the cyber attack, I feel like that's, a lot of breach, information is being breached.
I think that's it. A
So
matter of fact,
they do that, really get, that's gonna really shut us down.
That's what I mean.
Technology is
Yes.
that's what's gonna shut this.
Yes.
Especially
I feel like
this
that's the way to go. But do y'all remember when the cell phone shut down for a while?
Yeah.
When I tell you,
Everybody
when I promised you, I thought terror attack. I was like, they coming this way now.
Yeah.
They come because it's like nobody can use their phone.
I
People
know.
panic, baby.
I was
But
thinking
it's
that
like,
I
but
paid
it
my
wasn't
phone
everybody.
bill.
Some phone, and I
I
want to say, was it
thinking
T-Mobile? Somebody's
Yeah.
phones was working.
Mine, mine's for T-Mobile work.
Because AT&T did not.
T-Mobile.
I wasn't
AT&T
thinking
let me
terror.
that.
I wasn't thinking terror. I was thinking, did I pay my phone bill?
Oh, no. I was thinking, because it's like the way that nobody had it in the building. We was all like, is your phone now? It's like it was
But
starting
it was scary,
the beginning of a
though.
movie
It
because
was
it's like,
scary.
what about
It
your
made you
phone?
think.
It's
It
like,
was
no,
scary.
my phone ain't
Yeah, it
working
was
either.
scary.
And it's like, you
Yeah.
realize how helpless you are without your
Uh-huh.
phone.
Even
Yeah.
it was.
You know I was going crazy.
I know you.
Mm-hmm.
I can see you. I can see you. But no, for real, I was scared. I was scared. I really was.
It made you think.
Because that's what I mean. Because it's like
Yeah.
nobody's phone was, and it was like, yeah,
It did.
that's it. But like I said, yeah, because I think T-Mobile, T-Mobile. I was like, I
Yeah.
need to switch to T-Mobile.
Yeah,
T-Mobile be coming
them.
through.
They do. I kind of miss them. I had them, but then I got
I
a
miss
better
them
deal
myself.
with
Oh,
Xfinity. Because T-Mobile, they was kept going up and up.
Man.
I had them for a long time. But they kept going up, and I was like, no, I'm about to
I
switch.
guess so. They
Then
are
you look-
paying for all
then you
these
think about it,
towers.
everything's going up.
They
right?
paying for all these towers.
Everything is, the inflation is through the roof.
Cost everything.
But I knew it was gonna happen after COVID. I was like, we ain't seen the worst because it's a domino effect from here at this point. Every time you look around, something went up.
But that's the thing, though. It's corporations being greedy because stuff can go. Y'all make y'all money back. Stuff can go back, but they
I
would
feel like
never.
it will,
Airlines
probably not to
especially.
where it was.
But that's the thing. It won't because prices. One thing they won't do is go
yeah, they ain't
down.
gonna go.
They not gonna
to
go
where
down.
it was.
If they
Yeah,
do it, so we
but-
get a sale.
Right.
They're not gonna go down. The most they might do, they gonna make stuff smaller, like how they make a Twix and it's the size of your hand. I don't know, a little Twix. It's like maybe y'all stuff be so little now.
So y'all know when this was happening, 9/11, when the people was on the ground, everything was just messed up. The highway was jammed. You couldn't go anywhere by car. Planes was done. The airports were shut down. So it just makes you think, like, what is your way to get out of a city if you can't go? Because that's the first thing we're gonna do. If something happens, we get in our cars. Go ahead.
Go now.
Yeah.
Go now.
Like leave now.
They've
Leave
been
now.
telling us in the movies for a while.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how we gonna get there by transportation? Like,
Well,
go
now
No,
it's
she
not
said be
closed.
proactive.
Go be for like right now. She
Yeah,
go.
like now.
Oh, now you said go.
Proactive is
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We already know.
We gonna
Right
wait
from
till
the
it
wall.
happens.
They've been telling us for years.
Mhm.
We're always a day late,
Last
a dollar
to know.
short. We're
Mhm.
always the last to know. But it's not that they haven't been telling us. We're just
Just
not
not
paying
paying
attention.
attention.
We're
We're
not conditioned
Uh-huh.
to pay attention.
Yeah.
We don't know the signs. The words mean something different to us
Mhm.
than it means to somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So, and then they can do a jig in front of us and be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
you know,
Nah.
and we'll, people.
Well,
will
even
just
when
be
they was
like,
telling us that we was having a hijack, and no one was still believing it. I mean,
Yeah.
even the pilots was like, "This can't be real."
No, it's like it's
The
Everybody.
sky is falling.
Yeah.
The sky is falling.
Mhm.
It
It's
is.
just
Don't-
like
don't
when
look up.
they have hurricanes and stuff, right? And they say everybody
Mhm.
evacuate. I'm gonna
True.
stay here. We're
Like
gonna
the
board
people
up.
who
We're
are
gonna do this,
board
that.
up,
And then they don't know how bad it's gonna be until
After
it happens.
You're right.
Oh, we've been through before because it's been like little
Yeah,
hurricanes
yeah,
and little
we've been there
storms.
before.
We
Yeah.
this house has said, we'll be fine,
And then your house all tore
Another
up.
thing is that, a lot of people don't leave because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
Other folks have somewhere to go. They either have
Privilege.
another place in the
Privilege to
country to
go.
go, they have, a different region to go to, they have multiple passports to be able to go in
But
more
it was
than
COVID,
just.
right? People were going to summer homes and people were
Yeah. So if we don't do that
And
because we
financially,
can't get our
too.
economics
Yeah.
together. We
That's
don't have
true.
financial literacy to be able to get our group economics together. So, but even if we don't have the group economics together, we need to start making moves to get out. That's why the movie came out. Get Out.
I believe that 100. And that's the thing too. Like, man, I was like, give my baby a passport. We all got them. It was like because I was like, because I asked him. We had a serious conversation. Like, when is it that we feel like it's time to go? Because it has to be that moment before it's too late. But he said, black people, he said they're not gonna be sad to see us go. That's what he's like his theory. He said they're gonna let us.
They're not gonna let us go. It's people aren't going to be able to leave. It's kind of hard to leave right now if you don't have a passport, and there's different types of passports. See, we don't research the right stuff. We don't know to research the right stuff. There's multiple passports. We need to have dual citizenship.
Possible visas. I was gonna say possible visas.
I would like a thing on Instagram or social media when they give you all this bits and pieces of information about passport. It ain't just your regular passport, you know. Like you said, dual citizenship.
And the information is there, but reading is fundamental.
Yes, and
you know what I mean? Like people literally won't even read it.
Won't
Won't even read it.
What are different kinds of passports?
I'm just now getting to the point where I'm learning about the different passports. So I have another friend group that we're like diving down the rabbit hole and starting to make moves because, again, like if we're not researching it ourselves, nobody's gonna give us the information. They're not excited to tell us because they don't want us
To be ahead of
Yeah,
the
they
game.
don't want us. They just don't want us to. A lot of other countries are becoming westernized, or the wrong people do get over there and create a bad name, for us. So it's just challenging. It's difficult, but I just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. But there are different types of passports. There are different types of citizenships where you can have like multiple, like dual or what is it called? Multinational something where you're just not locked into the U.S. passport because
But don't you have to be a citizen of that country? Or your
and there are those
There's ways
barriers of
around that
entry
too.
are changing. Like so, say for instance, I don't remember the details of each specific country that I've researched, but I'm just going like an example could be once upon a time the paperwork to fill out to go into become a resident or to like whatever leave the country, go over there to get the visa or whatever.
Established residency.
It might have been free once upon a time. Then it was $100. Now it's $500. Now it's $1,000. Then it'll go up to $10,000. Well, how many black people do you know
They'll make it
have
harder and
10,000
harder for us.
just for the application? I watched something yesterday about, and it's the opposite. It was someplace in Africa where the people were saving up money to be able to come to America. And so they had to come up with what was equivalent to about $3,000 or $3,300 in American money for just the application. So when they put the application in, they deny it. It gets denied like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And then the purpose of that video was showing how that department of the embassy or whatever, that whole department is funded by those application fees. So when COVID happened, people shut down, and so people weren't applying, and so that whole department had to shut down, and everybody had to go home. And so now, once it opened back up, gradually they had to bring people back, but it's like, why are they getting denied? And so they were asking this lady, who happens to be a white woman, why are people getting denied? They check all the boxes. What's, oh, it's a hard job, blah, blah, blah. They come up with the, ridiculous excuses, but they're denying them on purpose 2 times, 3 times, because that's how they're being funded. They're just, stealing money, basically. So, there's so many different things, but yeah, I'm working on attracting the right people who already know this stuff, because I'm not about reinventing the wheel. I want to, I need somebody that knows what they're doing, been there, done that, or knows people who do it, or have done it. Have you all heard of Stephanie Perry? Okay, so she's one of the co-founders or co-creators of House City, the House City, International House City School. And so she started doing that. She was from here. She took some money. I think she had like 15 grand saved up or whatever. She spent time over in another country, and she ended up doing a bunch of things, whatever. And she ended up working from home and then house sitting, and found out that was you know, a way that she could not necessarily earn money, but that part was more of a barter because they might have had a pet that needed to be walked or something. And so she would go, she would, you know, take the mail in, just, you know, occupy the house so that people would know there was somebody there. So, so they're not paying her to do that, but that's how she kept from paying rent somewhere or paying in a hotel. So it worked out for them because they got to have somebody stay for free, protect the house, walk the dog, and they not have to send the dog to a kennel. That saved them money. So it was a barter. So I'm real big on bartering. I mean, I can tell you multiple places in my life where I bartered for services and it worked out. And that's really what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be using money and exchanging money.
Exactly. The money, because money isn't real. It's literally we assign the value to it. But I asked that question on Facebook. Like, if we lived in a barter system, what would you have to barter?
No.
But hostage you still pay for it.
Right. No, this is just people, like, if you lived here and you wanted to,
You're not swapping houses.
Yeah, like the movie The Holiday.
Yeah.
Like they both wanted to get away for the, you know, get away from there. They broke up their boyfriend and stuff. Like they didn't pay. It's like they just both stayed in each other's house.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So Stephanie Perry, write it down. She's
I already found
I'm
it.
looking, I literally just put it
I already found it, girl.
She and a friend of hers created the Exodus Summit. And so they're teaching people how Black women in particular, how to get out of the United States. Because nobody's telling us. Everybody else is leaving. But, you know, or putting themselves in a position to be able to leave.
Yes,
and,
that's the part right there.
I have a friend of mine who has 6 children. She left it. They used to live on 70-something over east near South Shore area. And she and her husband let their apartment go. They lived in their van. And they also had timeshares, and they had a timeshare out of Sheridan, Illinois. But they were grandfathered in because they had it way before, like at the very beginning. So she knew how to stay for 30 days and then like leave and come right back and stay for another 30 days. And so they
worked.
They would literally stay, and I guess they had RCI and an exchange company, and they would go. So what they did was they homeschooled their children, and they went to all 50 states and stayed in the different timeshares. And whatever he did, he was able to work from home. She created her website, and so she has like a homeschooling or world schooling website. So after they finished the 50 states, they went to Mexico. She had to wait like several months though, because her passport had expired. She forgot about it or whatever, so she had to wait. But they ended up in Mexico, and so now they are in Mexico. And so on her website or whatever her social media is, people were asking her, you know, different questions like, "What's the why did you go there?" You know, because I've learned everything that they've ever taught us is the opposite of what really is. So while they're on TV trying to make it seem like, ooh, they'll let the Mexicans in, you know. It's not about that. Like, the Americans are going to be trying to get to Mexico. You know, and so they're trying to keep us here like, oh, America's the greatest, and America's this, and America's that. But it's like, we are in the Truman Show. We are in the Truman Show. We are in the Matrix. And people do not have a clue of what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't have a clue. They don't even have a clue that this United States of America, the country, is a completely separate entity than the corporation of the U.S. It's completely separate. We don't even know, and so I'm just learning all this stuff. It's enough to break your brain.
It is.
It is, and you know, and after a while of learning it, you're just kind of left thinking like, okay, now what?
Right.
Now what? And it's really the matrixy kind of red pill, blue pill, and like once you know, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
And so now you can't sleep at night because you're like, okay, I gotta do something. I like literally have to do something because everywhere you turn, you can now see the buffoonery that's going on and the trickery and how long this has been going on. And it's too late, kinda. It's on autopilot. So the best thing is to educate ourselves and find out how we can at least move around the
What is your
planet.
next move? I'm always
That's it.
thinking, like, what?
But it's hard because the system is working. It's not broken. It's working very well.
And
Just
that's
against
what
us.
I'll tell you.
Because the system is something that it works without literally.
autopilot.
It's like, right, you
Right.
said that, but
And
yeah,
it's
that's like,
at this
so
point,
it's a very
it is on autopilot.
intelligent system that we can't really infiltrate.
Right.
But like the COVID really, it's like I already knew what people were saying about America, like still like America like this, the greatest country. Again, my friend, my uncle's been living in Germany for maybe over 30 something years. But when I got pregnant, I joined a group with women from all over the world. Because we all was having our baby the same month, so it was just an internet group just to kind of support each other, like what you going through, you in your 8th month, that kind of thing. And so, I found out like they were like that they got 2 years off. I said 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's when it started for me. I was like 2 years. I was
Men
like,
get paternity.
okay, and they do, and they get their
Yeah.
money. It's
Yeah.
like you can do it at 18 months for like all your pay, 12 months for 75% of your pay, and they was like, how long you get? It's like 12 weeks, and it's like that's the thing too. Like I got my son, I got pregnant over the summer, so I was able to have that too. So I spent 5 months, but even still, it's like that's really when I saw that America is third world country with a Gucci belt. It's literally when I got pregnant. It opened my eyes so much. I'm like, and then COVID education, we already knew about that. I'm in education, so we knew that. But when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to education, we are a joke. And COVID really highlighted it so much for me. But and like I said, it started when I got pregnant, when I saw like all this money we're paying for taxes.
We are consumers. We are not producers.
This is capitalism. It's working real well over here.
We are the consumers, and so the goal is to get yourself out of a consumer mindset. But I won't even say miseducate us. They don't educate us, and why would they? They're the colonizers. So why are we expecting our colonizers to teach us something that may, put us in a position to overtake them or to rise up out of the chains and bondage that we're in? There's more people in slavery right now than there ever were down south in the Jim Crow days.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
still
starts
lynching
right
people.
here. It's
Don't
still
y'all
right
be
Well, I
here.
mean, like mentally though, mentally.
It's
Where
here.
like,
I was
you know what I
gonna
mean?
say.
And
There's
like,
so many people in slavery mentally.
And when it comes to the
stuck.
wars,
Yeah.
these wars that they're talking about, we can talk about 9/11, we can talk about but there are more acts of terrorists committed on this land by white men than any other group. I like to research the history from the whistleblowers, not from the books they give us, not from the TV, not from the news, whatever. That's what they feed the sheep.
Right.
I look the other way, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing over here? Or let me go find the books that all the great gurus that understand stuff. I want to know what books they read. Like who did you listen to? So you follow some of these people and you follow that trail, and it'll take you on a path where you'll start to get that enlightenment. I read a book a long time ago called Grunch Giants by Buckminster Fuller, and every time I listen to some of the people that have books, whatever, when they mention books, I go get those books.
Yeah.
Especially when I hear multiple people say in the same book. And so Grunch of Giants talks about the banking system and the oligarchs that are doing what they're doing and how it is too late. It's on autopilot. And what Klaus Schwab is planning with the whole New World Order and making everything digital, attracting everybody, whatever, and getting everybody in the system, it's happening. It's already happening. It's happening in China. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's already there. So it's just a matter of time. And there, another friend sent something saying that they're getting ready to release another what do you call it? Bug or whatever. That's supposed to wipe out so many people, 48% of the population. That's why all of them are buying bunkers.
Like germ warfare.
Yes, and the thing is, they have us believing that it's some terrorist group that's, that we have to, fight or something, that's coming to get us and we got to do all this stuff. That's not it. That's just a ploy. It's smoke and mirrors, and it's them against us. It's the government against the people, and the biological warfare is being waged on the people. How many times do you hear Bill Gates and all of these people talking about, we got to reduce the population. It's too many people. It's not too many people. If you take the people out of the most heavily, densely populated cities and spread them out over the whole country, how much rural land do we have here on this country that's not being utilized? If you took every person and gave every person 1 acre, it's not overpopulated. there's no food shortage. If you could get Monsanto to quit flying over, spraying freaking, food, to spraying
They burn
ground.
corn. I'll never forget that. Literally burn. Like instead of people like no, it would never need to be no homeless people. They literally, but it's because of supply and demand.
That's one of the most genetically modified foods, though.
But I think it's so terrible.
Get rid of your front lawn and back lawn and make a garden. There shouldn't be a food shortage. America is the only country that has an overabundance of male trees. Okay, ask me what a male tree is.
What's the difference?
What you know the difference between a male and a female? What's the difference?
A female can reproduce.
There you go. So if we had an overabundance of female trees as opposed to male trees, there wouldn't be a food problem. You can go outside, walk down the street just like you can in Mexico or in all the different other countries, and they're just all the fruit is laying on the ground. You got the papayas, you got the mangoes, you got avocados, you got all of those fruit, and we're paying $7 for one.
Right.
We can't even go outside and get those because we have male trees that don't produce.
Right.
Male trees are trees that don't produce.
That's what old girl was
Female
talking
trees.
about in 21 Shades of Men that she talked about.
Oh yeah, I love Priscilla. Priscilla confirmed so many things that were in my mind.
I know, and then me and some friends was listening to it yesterday.
Oh, love Priscilla. It's probably about 5% that I'm like,
You don't really agree with,
but
right?
I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm able to discern the part that's not for me, but
Right.
the majority of what she's saying, some
I
people
get it.
listen for the thing to dismiss her. They listen for the 5%, say, oh, she said that thing, so I can't listen to nothing she said. No. You listen to the 90% that makes sense, and if that doesn't resonate with you, just set that to the side.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because there's some truth to this, what she's saying.
There's more than some.
Listen, and then one of my friends, she was talking about, a situation with her and her husband, then I was like, so this is exactly what she was talking about. Like, if you think about it, what she was talking about, this is what you all are going through.
Yeah. And everything has been flipped upside down, and man, she's so on point about so many things. And the fact that she can explain it on a
Very
not just a biological level and a physiological level. She dives deep.
She's done her research.
And
Yes.
you can't mess with the truth. Your spirit will resonate with truth. If it's not true, your spirit is gonna be like and question it and be like But when you hear truth, your spirit stands up like that part. Right? So
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to point out how in the aircraft, in aviation period, they had an initial investment. Their initial investment was for $75 million, and this number has actually grown to nearly $200 million. To put this in perspective, Saudi Arabia spent $1.2 billion during the 1990s to upgrade their system. And they have contracted to upgrade their system again this year for a similar amount of money. Clearly not this year, but at that time. So my point is, they spent $1.2 billion on upgrading their system, and we ain't spent half that much trying to upgrade our
Also,
stuff.
like Saudi Arabia, it's got oil money to protect.
Oh, yeah.
There's more risk,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Yeah, I
agree.
learned so much about them in the last couple weeks. But yeah, so we just, like I said, we just need to step our game up, and hopefully after all these years, 23 years, that
It's hard to believe.
Our answer is to pour more into the military. That's where a lot of the money that goes.
Into the military.
Which is important, but it's it's definitely a large amount.
Yeah. Okay, well then that'll end. Did anybody have anything else to talk about the book? Anybody? No? Okay, so that'll end our discussion for today, and we'll be back on Zoom next month. And
Crazy.
that's it.
And we don't have our book for next month, right?
Oh yeah, I'll give it to y'all.
Okay.
All right.